President and CEO of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I've got staff over the past several months to get this all accomplished. Jeff Miller from the NFL, and the heroes of the gridiron we have here today: Warren Moon, class of 2006; Bobby Mitchell, class of 1983; Kellen Winslow, class of 1995; Bruce Smith, class of 2009; and Floyd Little, class of 2010. Professional football remains still the most popular and most watched sport in America. Over 111 million people tuned in to watch the Super Bowl in January, the largest television audience in American history. Countless more tune in every week to watch games at the stadiums, and it is such an honor for me to be here today and have the opportunity to help commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Almost 9 million people have visited the hall to pay homage to the heroes like the gentlemen who are here with me today. The Pro Football Hall of Fame Coin Act would authorize the Treasury to issue $5 coins, $1 silver coins, and half-dollar coins, all honoring the hall. For me, it is important to ensure that there would be no cost to the taxpayers associated with this bill. Therefore, a portion of the proceeds will cover the cost of producing the coins. The rest of the funds generated by this legislation will go to helping the hall raise the funding needed to acquire and to preserve priceless artifacts from the pro football's storied history. As the Pro Football's Hall of Fame's representative here in Congress, it is deeply important for me to ensure its financial health going forward. The hall remains not just a Canton, Ohio attraction, or even an Ohio attraction, but a national landmark. We already have over 200 co-sponsors to the Coin Act in the House. It is a broad, bipartisan support with the members of the House. Now we just need to get the 290 signatures, which are approximately 90 more from members of Congress needed to get the ball over the line so we can help the hall carry out its important mission of preserving the history of pro football. I'm counting on the Hall of Famers with me here today to join with me to help get those signatures and help continue to move this forward so the hall so we can get the victory that the hall deserves. With that, I would like to turn it over to my friend, Senator Rob Portman. As a fellow Ohioan, he will be the lead sponsor of the Coin Act in the United States Senate.
Jim, thanks very much. And listen, thanks everybody for being here, particularly these gentlemen behind me. Watching my back. This is a great opportunity for us to do something important for Ohio, the Hall of Fame. It's the 50th anniversary of what is truly a national destination. I've been there with my kids. It's a great place to go. The 50th anniversary is giving us the opportunity to showcase the Hall of Fame, get even more folks there. It's a great honor, again, to be with these gentlemen behind me here who are part of that Hall of Fame. Bobby Mitchell, we claim in Ohio, of course, as the former Cleveland Browns star. I talked to him earlier, to be a halfback and a wide receiver is a rare thing, even in his day. And you never see it today. A great athlete, a great guy. Anthony Munoz, a buddy of mine from back home I talked to earlier this week. He couldn't be here today, but he's strongly supportive of what we're doing. Cincinnati Bengals Hall of Famer. And Ohio's, fortunately, we've got 23 people in the Hall of Fame from Ohio. Football started in Canton, Ohio. My grandfather and his brothers were all captains of the football team at Western Reserve. One of them went on to play semi-pro. And a great tradition in terms of football. This is also an opportunity for us not just to raise money for the Hall of Fame and to showcase the great sport of football, but also to do it at no expense to the taxpayer. So what we're doing today, introducing our legislation in the Senate, and what Jim Renacci has done a terrific job in the House by getting almost 200 co-sponsors already, is going to be great for pro football, great for Canton, Ohio, and have no negative impact on the taxpayer because the Mint does this only a couple times a year, and we're doing it in the way that the proceeds will go back and pay for the coin itself. So it's a win-win for the taxpayer, it's a win for football, and it's great for our state of Ohio. Even though he's not from Ohio, I'm really honored that Joe Manchin has been willing to join me as the co-sponsor in the Senate, in that the Senate majority is Democrat. He's really the lead sponsor. And it's only appropriate because he's actually a football player. I was a little skinny, so but Joe was a star quarterback on his high school football team. And he was just telling me that in his small town in West Virginia, he's got a couple of guys that made it all the way to the Hall of Fame. Now, Joe didn't quite make it that far, but I'm sure he's in his high school Hall of Fame. Or will be after the Des Moines legislation gets into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Joe Manchin.
Thank you, Robert. We thank all of you for being here, and especially to our honorees today. When you look at the greats behind us, of Warren Moon, Ozzie Newsome, Bobby Mitchell, we have Kellen Winslow, Bruce Smith, and again, Floyd Little. Floyd did a lot of damage in WVU over the years. So we've had a good round of that one. Let me just say something about, first of all, my good friend Rob Wortman and our sister state, or our neighboring state of Ohio. And the Hall of Fame is pretty special to West Virginians. I don't know if you know this, we have 6 Hall of Famers from the little state of West Virginia. 6 of them. Joe Steadyhart, Early Greasy Neal, George Preston Marshall, Gino Marchetti, and then we have 2 from my hometown. I want you to imagine, here's a little coal mining town, less than 500 people in the town. Here's a little outside area where a coal mine was, called Number 9. Maybe less than 100 people lived in that coal mining community. 2, Frank Gunnar Gaskey and Sam Huff came out within 1 street apart. Their dads both worked in the coal mines, they worked in the coal mines. They went to Farmington High School, where we all went to high school. And they come out, Otto Graham was the quarterback, and Frank Gunnar Gaskey was the center. Sam Huff from Farmington went to WVU, and then on to the New York Giants in the famous game, the championship game against Johnny Unitas. We all remember that in the 50s. But when you think about it, so here, I grew up around these giants, and I saw fellow coal mining families have 2 sons that really truly became professionals, more than just football. And I think what you don't see about these men, they contribute more than just what they did on the football field. They gave hope and inspiration to every kid that watched them. They saw them turn into a professional. How their appearances, how they spoke, how they carried themselves, how proud they were where they came from. And it gave all of us hope. In those little coal mining towns, we said, maybe we can be that too. I had a chance to play ball at WVU, I got hurt, but my dream was to follow in their footsteps. That's all of our dreams. It doesn't happen to many of us. So when we get a chance to come here and say thank you, and with this coin, 50th anniversary, we have so many distributions of different coins that we're asking for. And also, Rob and I will tell you, this does not put a dent in the budget. It's revenue neutral. It pays for itself. So we're not asking the taxpayers to pick up the tab on this. Sports, I think sometimes today, sometimes it's misguided. Sports has given back to the community so much more, but you can't. That Hall of Fame shows us what you can be if you want to be. If you've got a little bit of God-given talent and you have the determination to be the best you can, then one day you can stand where you stand. And that's really what this is all about. So without further ado, I want to say to all of them, thank you for the legacy that you left all of us and all the young men very much. Also, I want to thank George. George Bears brought this, and he and I spoke about it. He knows my roots, where I come from, and how much passion I have for this. George is president and CEO of the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enterprise, and he's done so much to bring attention to something that I believe is so worthwhile for America. It's part of America. And so at this time, I want to bring my dear friend George Bears. George.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Senator, and thank you, Congressman, for the support of the bill, and Senator Portman as well. You know, I'm here representing really these great guys back here. It's been an honor and privilege to do that, and the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And really, with this coin, it just continues what our mission is, which is to educate, preserve, and promote the history of pro football. And as Senator Manchin said, it's an aspiration, a dream for many. And I've been out with the Hall of Famers around the country to get them out in front of people, telling them their old lessons. I was with Floyd Little last week in Haven, Connecticut, Kellen in St. Louis at their high schools, where you can see the incredible inspiration on the faces of young fans and even older fans who came to attend the event, to hear their stories of how hard they worked to get to the Hall of Fame, which you're going to hear about it, what it meant to them, and how we're using this coin to help us preserve those documents that the Congressman referred to before and get our word out to everybody across the country. Because in the end, everybody would like to reach into Canton. You all can't come there. We invite you there. We have a brand new building where we can get the Hall of Famers out there and we get history out to you with the passage of this Coin Act, which we hope we can push across the goal line, to use that phrase today after this great session. So thanks for coming out today. It's my pleasure to introduce Jeff Miller, Senior Vice President of the National Football League, who's also here in support of the program. Jeff?
Thanks, John. Thank you. I'm here on behalf of the NFL, our 32 clubs, and Commissioner Roger Goodell to announce our full support for the Coin Act and thank Congressman Renacci, Senators Portman and Manchin for their work on this bill. The Hall of Fame is a landmark. It's the Hall of Fame, an American landmark, a symbol of football, and truly a living museum that gives back to our fans. A museum that educates about the history of the game and teaches them about its importance in American culture. And for those reasons, the ability to grow the Hall of Fame, to give back to our fans even further. Most importantly, to honor the great men behind me, who you'll hear from shortly, about their destination to the Hall of Fame and the importance of football and what they've given back. It's essential. This coin helps us do that. So the NFL will be here to support it. As George mentioned, we use the phrase, push it across the goal line a whole bunch. And we will endeavor to do that in the coming weeks. And we thank everybody here for their support. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Glad to bring up one at a time. Floyd Little first. Floyd?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be a part of this important initiative. The Hall of Fame is something special to each of us. For me, I got there. It took me a while to get there, but I made it. But I really enjoyed the trip. And being a Hall of Famer is beyond what anybody can expect. Just recently, I had an opportunity to speak with 3,500 young students across the country via teleconference. Something that was set up by the Hall of Fame. And we talked about trustworthiness, we talked about respect, we talked about reliability, we talked about fairness, we talked about caring, and we talked about citizenship. These are the things that are important. The Hall of Fame does more than just have a place where it preserves the history of the Hall, but it also does things like that. Just recently I was honored by my high school as a hometown hero, and they placed a piece of the Hall of Fame at my high school, historical plaque placed at my high school, where I was able to give back and motivate some of the high school students. It's just so much the Hall of Fame does for the Hall of Famers, and we want to give back. This is a way of being here to greet, to meet, and hope to get this bill passed so we can continue to do the great work that the Hall of Fame does for all of us and all of you. The Hall of Fame is a great place. I'm just honored to be one of them. We'll turn it over to our next person. George, who we want.
Thanks, Floyd. First of all, thank you all for being out here today for your support. We want to thank the Congressman and also the Senate for their support on this commemorative Coin Act. It's so important, as everybody talked about, preserving the history and the archives and all the artifacts of the Hall of Fame. I think Floyd touched a little bit on some of the different programs that we have going on that helps promote and educate young people, that kind of give them a better understanding not only of what football is all about and what some of the history of the game is all about, but also the more important things that it took for us to be successful, whether it be great character, the work ethic that goes into it, getting over adversity and continuing to keep striving forward, all those different things that are very valuable in becoming a successful person. Whether you become an athlete or not, all those ingredients are going to be very beneficial for you to be successful in your life. So when you talk about the Heart of the Hall of Fame series, where we talk to these young people around the country in different high schools and that we talk to, those are the type of things that we're pushing towards them. That these are the things that it's going to take for you to be successful in life. And I think this commemorative Coin Act is going to help us keep some of those programs going, because this is our Hall of Fame, and in order for it to be what we want it to be, we have to continue to keep working at it as players, as former players. George does his job, the people inside the Hall of Fame do their jobs, but if we really care about it as players, we have to take more of an initiative, and that's why we're here today, and that's why we try and be involved in any of the different programs as we have at the Hall of Fame. So I thank you guys for being out here to help promote what we're trying to do, and hopefully we can go inside and get the necessary signatures to get this act going forward so we can continue to preserve and do all the great things that the Hall of Fame has been doing for many years. So thanks for having us out. Thanks for your support today. Thank you.
You know, we have a tendency to talk a lot about our various teams. We don't get a lot of opportunity to talk about our Hall of Fame. It's one of the greatest programs coming out of the Hall of Fame. We ought to talk to youngsters. Because the main thing is, we want them to know that this is a long process. Hall of Famers have gone through the process. It's the same process from an educational point of view. We want them to know. Cutting off from high school is not going through the process. Cutting out after college is not going through the process. They make us wait a long time to be Hall of Famers. So the high school program, the enjoyment part of speaking to young kids, make them understand that it's a long process in their lives. What other better way you can do it than to have guys like these guys sing to the young people? The other thing is being flexible. Everybody can't be a quarterback. You got to understand that there are guys named Bruce Smith, Floyd Little. There are other things. This Corn Act is very important to us because it gives us an opportunity to continue to push out in front exactly what the Hall of Fame does. Young people get to understand that everything is a long process so that they won't drop out of school. They won't stop looking to go forward. These guys are an example of longevity. It takes time. So we would appreciate all the help we can get on this act. All, from everybody in the pro sports, sure helps the programs. We're so excited. We have senators and congressmen who will stand up for us in getting this act passed, because the final result will be all the things it does for young folks. That's what we're all about. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm certainly honored to stand as a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. A lot of you guys are shorter than I was. But I'm certainly honored to be here today as a member of Pro Football's Hall of Fame. Each and every one of us has a story to tell about our success, our failures, having to overcome adversity, and doing the little things that make a difference. I had an opportunity to participate in the Hall of Fame, become part of the Hall of Fame recipient last year in high school, where we had video conferences from schools all across the country that talked about the pillars of character, which ones were more important, which one played an intricate part in my success, and that helped me to achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve. Well, I didn't start off wanting to become a Hall of Famer. I started off wanting to be the best that I could possibly be. I wanted to do the things that my parents didn't necessarily have the opportunity that they wanted to do in life. So that's how I ultimately started off. Being able to go and talk to these kids, particularly in this program that I was just a part of the Hall of Fame, it gave me an opportunity to tell my story of overcoming adversity, going through the obstacles and the pitfalls and the barriers and walls that whether it's life in general or whether it's a man-made structure that's placed in front of you, that you have to overcome these obstacles to reach your goals. So I'm certainly honored to be here today, and one of the ways that we can continue to educate folks is passing this bill. Passing this bill that will allow this poem to become in existence will be huge for educational purposes. It will be huge for preserving the legendary status of, like this man that's standing behind me, and the tremendous economic impact that it will have not only on the state of Ohio, but around the country, whether it's jobs, whether it's tax revenue, and things of that nature, back to the state of Ohio is enormous. So I want to thank you all for the opportunity to stand here before you and give my little pitch or spill as to why this is relevant, why it has such merit, why it's extremely important for this bill to be passed. Thank you so much.
Before Kellen Winslow comes up, I want to introduce him briefly because although we can't claim him as an Ohio football player, we claim him now as an Ohioan. At Central State University, he is the director of athletics and wellness, doing a terrific job there. Had the opportunity to visit him on campus and talk about a guy who has the respect of the young people. As we said here today, this is about providing a model for young people. All these comments have been consistent with that this is about teaching young people discipline. You have to wait to achieve results, and Kellen does that every day with our young people, and I highly appreciate it.
Good morning. Good morning. Can everybody hear back there? Okay, thank you. One of the great things about athletics is it's a tool. It's a major part of our society. At times we have a tendency to discount it because, well, we like to do those things sometimes in this country. We like to take something that's successful and tear it down. But if we really are really honest with ourselves, we begin to understand that athletics is nothing but a tool that helps to build character. The people you see behind me today are examples of that. Whether it's those who made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, or those whose careers were cut shut in high school, or in middle school, or in Little League. It's a character builder. That's what the Pro Football Hall of Fame is all about. Bruce talked about the economic development piece of it, and that is very true. You can quantify that. You can quantify it by this coin project. That's going to bring additional revenue because we're going to be able to build additional buildings and preserve the game. But we can never lose sight of the value of athletics to this country, how it builds character. There are two institutions that we use to build character and to transform people. That is the military and is athletics. Having support for those two things in this country is very important. Thank you all for coming out today, and we appreciate your support on this bill.
Again, I want to thank everybody. Before I do that, though, I do want to recognize my friend and colleague here, Bob Gibbs, who is also a member from Ohio. Thank you for being here. Again, it's a great honor to be able to bring this coin forward, to be able to help the Hall of Fame. I want to thank George for his help with my staff in getting this done. I want to thank Jeff for what he's done. I really want to thank Senator Portman and Senator Manchin for being here and be willing to take this through the Senate side. And more than anything, I want to thank all the Hall of Famers that are here today, because if you listen to their stories, I mean, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. I've been in Ohio for almost 30 years, but it's amazing because all those stories really do fit into what this is all about. And you talk about football, baseball, all the sports, growing up and learning to work as a team to get things accomplished. These guys have had the opportunity not only to work as a team to get things accomplished, but also to take it to the next level, the higher level, and then give back so much to their communities that they now live in. So, again, thank you so much for being here.
Question. Mr. Winslow or any members of Congress want to answer this. I suspect the people in that building also concerned about the Hall of Famers' physical condition, ailments that current players and former players might be suffering. Mr. Winslow or any members of Congress, do you think perhaps more should be done for veterans, for Hall of Famers like yourself, and for current players like yourself?
Again, when you're involved in a profession, there's responsibility on the side of the individual as well as the corporation. In this case, in my humble opinion, the NFL Players Union needs to do more to talk about the work conditions that their members are under, in conjunction with the National Football League. This question comes up all the time about who's responsible. We're all responsible, everyone involved in the games. The National Football League, the Players Association as our representatives under collective bargaining, as well as the players themselves to take advantage of these opportunities and skills that come with playing in the National Football League.
Anybody else want to weigh in on that? I know that's a fun question. Thank you.
Again, I want to thank you all.
What are you going to use the money for specifically? Are you going to build a new wing, or is there some specific project dedicated?
The project is we have a huge purchase of documents and artifacts over $7 million. We have the new building. We've done that. We now need to find a way to reach out and get more documents and preserve them in the new building. That's what it's being used for. Plus some of the education for the building. So it's education and research and preservation.
How much money do you hope to raise from it?
I don't even know. I don't know the specifics of that. I just know that it varies depending on what you sell out there publicly, because you've got a selling point here that has a match. Whatever it brings, we'll match it.